Me too.
I hear the music, and I'm not.
I heard the music too.
I don't. Well,
We'd all like to know.
I had a visitor here yesterday at the school, and it was the principal of a different school, and she was telling me how she is not going to have recess for any of her kids. And I was like, and I just told Dan, I was thinking, oh no, you're going to get the calls because my kids are out at recess today. So I'm hoping, Dan, we didn't get any calls about being out. Okay.
Why would we not?
Okay, because I was hopeful. We had classes, and I think the kids, I didn't get to go out, but was it, I haven't really talked to anybody.
it was cool.
Yeah.
I have a picture of everything.
Okay, and I saw Dominique sent some pictures from her dad, who teaches this.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm right here.
Well, we just
Right here.
all,
Sorry.
It's
I-
we
okay.
just all have to hang around 22 more years until the one is full here, so. My wife and I realized we'd be 76 when that occurs.
Oh, you're still young,
I don't know if I'll be here when
just
that
because I'm
occurs.
around the same age.
Well, thanks for giving me some time today, and I won't keep you long. Needless to say, the last couple of weeks have been interesting, and I'll just be very honest with you. I feel like we constantly are trying to figure each other out. I sent an email, and I sincerely was trying to send a message to you that you guys are great, and that there are people out in the community that say nasty things. And I really wanted you to understand that that doesn't define you. And I know that some of you took that in a manner that I didn't intend. And I appreciate Savannah, who reached out to me, who we had a great conversation, and I understand some of you also felt not supported by that. I gave Regina the analogy. I feel like all of us here are on this big chessboard, and there are a lot of people out there moving us around, and there are a lot of forces out there playing with us on this chessboard. And I just don't know how to manage this. And I'd love to just hear your thoughts. What am I not doing here to support you? What can I do better? You did nothing wrong with the little spot box. You did nothing wrong. Why did I say nothing? Because you did nothing wrong. There was no media out here that was pointing out that you did something wrong. There was nothing I felt I needed to respond to because you did nothing wrong. So yes, there were a few parents who wanted to make a big deal out of it. And they did it on social media, which to me is a completely invalid source. You have 400 parents in this community, and there were a handful of posts who were nasty. And frankly, the more we give it credence, and some of you have told me that, I look around the room and I see some of you in this room who have told me, why would you respond to that? You just give it credence. So the very words from people in this room have come back to me, and it's exactly the position I took. Why would I respond to a few foolish people in this community who wanted to make a big deal out of something that was perfectly acceptable, was a perfectly right thing for you to do? Why would I give it credence by responding to it? So that was my position. So that's why I didn't respond. So I would just love to hear, please.
Why was it not posted on the Facebook page?
Why was it what?
Why was
The Good News Bulletin.
Because it was withdrawn by someone here.
Somebody asked me, and I asked them to take it down because I didn't want further scrutiny from the community. Because it's not, I had, out of over 400 families, I only had 3 families that emailed me directly, but people from here were sending me some of the posts from the community members that aren't part of our school.
But wouldn't that have been the ideal place to address it?
I just didn't want it to continue more because, as many of you know, there's other stuff. And if you guys want, I'll ask Jason to do it. I was just trying not to because they were starting to attack personal staff, and I didn't want our staff.
My other question was, where did the pictures come from that they post on?
They
Class Dojo.
screenshotted it from Dojo.
Our dojo.
Along with my picture on that social media post.
Yep.
Because I was the person that posted them to Class Dojo. My picture did not get blocked out, and neither my name did. but not the picture that I have attached to Class Dojo. So someone screenshotted those posts from Dojo, a private app. I'm very upset by this. This is why. That is between parents, teachers, and students. And someone who I believe is not even a part of our Singing Hills community got a hold of a screenshot of teachers and thankfully blocked out a name and everyone else's faces, but not mine, and posted them to a mom's page that we follow. I follow that page for daycare purposes for my own children. And then to see that at 8 o'clock at night pop up on my social media is not okay.
I had my daughter-in-law and all of her sisters that all 15 kids are in this district calling me that night, wanting to know what we were gonna do and what they should do, because they know what we did was good, but they're tired of reading it, and they know that one person that's posting some of the worst stuff is part of our district accountability committee, but she never has to be held accountable. So now all 15 of those kids are looking at different schools.
I think
It
that
was not right.
I think that is what is frustrating most of us, is that district leadership is not being, or people that are at a district leadership level are not being held accountable for the things that they say about us.
And they're surely not very
But we're
professional.
being told we should say on social media.
But they're not being told, hey, you're like, if you're part of the district accountability, you are the face of our district. Like you are,
Yeah.
you do
You're on our
represent our
board, you're the
district.
face of our
So
district.
if you're posting stuff on social media, you're representing our district and you're saying, hey, I support this. Like I support this nastiness that's coming back to our schools
I
and our
support-
teachers. I support it, and I'm going to be okay with continuing to post
It
it.
sure looks like it's supported to attack Singing Hills, because we're the ones getting attacked, not the middle school, not the high school, not Running Creek. It's right here.
And that's why
And-
I said something to that post. You know,
That's
so
why a
I'm
lot
sure
of us
it's
are
just
leaving.
you, but we all know we're not changing hearts and minds on Facebook. When we post things, we all know arguing on Facebook does nothing. However, my concern is not trying to refute the people who are saying the things necessarily, but those who go to the comments and just read all the comments. So when they see things that are being said about Singing Hills that are completely untrue, everyone's a headline reader, right? We all are guilty of it. We read the headline and move on. So how many people in that mom's group saw the things that were completely untrue? That
Two
were
moms
being-
groups.
Yeah,
that
two
were
different
being
moms
said
groups.
about us,
And as
and
soon
it's
as
like-
nice things were being said,
It
the
got-
Then it
post
gets
got taken
deleted.
down.
Yeah.
Not by
And-
the moderator.
And I
prefer
think
that.
for Caitlin, I mean, I think most of the school will agree, our hearts were broken for you because you put so much into it. And you do so much for the school and this community and these kids, and then your face is posted with that. That's not okay. And that's not okay for her.
It's not okay to allow people to malign us in this way. I've
Yeah.
had that up to here. I'm not a person to usually speak up and say things about stuff like that, but because it's affecting my teammates, my friends, myself, my kids, I mean, it's to the point where it's
Yeah.
affecting all of us to the level that something has to be done to stop it.
Yeah, because the answer right now is people are just leaving. What does that leave the school with? That's sad. We had a great community. We all used to love coming to the work. I mean, I thought I'd retire here.
I do believe it needs to be addressed with the school board, because there are members of the school board that have divided this community, and it continues on. And so anytime they see anything they can do, that member and their friends attack. And that's where the attacks do not stop. And that's where it came from, little spot. And it starts up here, and it rolls down, and she has her group. And so therefore, her friends see it, and then they grow it and grow it. So it's gotta be stopped at the school board. And it's pretty pathetic when you have a school board that does not support the principal, the staff that's in the school.
And the families.
It is-
And
it
the
is
families,
pathetic.
they attack our families. Like you have
And it
fifth
is
graders
attack.
coming in who are in tears because their houses are being vandalized and notes are being left on the door because they decided to post, someone's
in support
address
of
on
us.
it and said, go after them. And we have a fifth grader who literally comes in every day in tears because she does not feel safe at her own house because her home address has been posted and has been attacked.
School board?
I don't know if it was school board, I don't know who it was, but someone who is against the parent.
I guess
Well,
you
Chrissy
said the
Howell
school
posts a
board.
lot.
I say a member of
I
the school
know.
board,
Okay.
and I think everyone in this room knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop.
And we
all
do
it
have
is-
some parents that need to stay on
It
social
reminds
media,
me-
but they're not the top of our school.
It reminds me of a high school, the high school cheerleaders that are the mean girls, and so she's got.
Not your cheerleaders.
Not you, Amber.
It's
Not
been
you or your
years.
Yeah,
She
we're not talking
went
about you.
down Running Creek. Now she's doing it to Running Creek, or to Singing Hills, and it's got to stop. So until you take responsibility as a school board leader and be a leader, this is what's gonna continue happening.
Yeah.
Is there
I
some
mean-
way the school can hire someone to trace where that was sent from, the original
But
message?
it's not gonna make sense.
It
Doesn't-
doesn't
it
matter,
doesn't
because the
matter.
board is part of it.
Names get changed
That's
on
the
social
problem,
media to
is
something
the
else
board
because
supports
they're
it.
being attacked.
Yeah.
What about us?
Can I say? So we have 5 members of the school board.
It only
I
takes one bad
continue
apple.
to hear you talk about a board member. So there are posts that I see liked by teachers attacking the entire board. And there is one board member I continue hearing being spoken about.
I don't.
But she represents the board.
She's 1/5 of the board.
But
so
she's
that
the
would be
vice
like
president.
If there were a teacher in your building that was not doing a great job, that would give credence for a community member to attack all of you.
But that's what's happening.
Anyway, so, that's what's happening.
Which is
We're all
why
being
I'm
attacked.
upset
Two
when
wrongs don't
3
make a
board
right.
members
No.
resigned,
I'm sorry.
Whom I personally knew, every one of those board members. 3 board members resigned. They were attacked in the store. They were called all hours of the night. They were threatened.
threats?
And that's what happened. So yeah,
And-
3 board members were taken out by.
One person.
Well, and it's
one
actually
board
2.
member and all of her
It's actually,
friends.
well, and there's another friend on the board, so those 2.
Yep.
And with our district accountability person, Ms. Howell, she has an awful lot on social media. We shouldn't, I don't post against the board on social media, but we see it. Our families see it. Our community members see it.
It's on next door.
It's
not
all
just on
over
Facebook,
next
on
door.
next
It's
There's
all over
videos
next door.
on
It's
next
on
door.
Moms of Elizabeth and Kiowa.
And unfortunately, if they don't know any better, they're gonna believe what they see,
And our
especially if
family
it's from
members are
somebody that
on
they
those.
know.
Well, and it's not just here. We're
And then rumors start
making
spreading too.
we're making news. Like my brother-in-law is a school board member up in Washington, and not from me. He's heard about our district, and when he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were that Elizabeth School District. I've heard all about you." Like we're making it all the way to Washington State. Like we're all over everywhere. Like everyone's talking about us and the things that happen at us, and I don't think that that's fair to all of us to be represented in that bad light. And for my friends, my teacher friends, to say, I can't believe you're still at Elizabeth School District with all the stuff that I've heard in the news about them. And for me to be like, I love my school and I love my principal and I love my coworkers and I love my students. But at the end of the day, how can I say, yeah, I want to continue to be here when it's stressful for me and I don't want to put my daughter through that.
I guess I'm struggling from the standpoint of I don't disagree that there is clearly a strong connection to a board member. We have 4 other board members who I think there is a lot of effort on their part to try to rise above this. I think there is an opportunity for us as a school to try to engage them and help them understand what you're experiencing and what you're feeling. Unfortunately, what's happening right now is all 5 of them are being attacked.
Our entire building.
Yeah.
I agree.
All 60
All
of
of
us
us.
are.
And I don't think they're being attacked by us.
No.
I was just gonna say the same thing. I don't feel like singing
The
Hills
teachers aren't.
is on the attack. I think we are on the defense. We are getting attacked, so therefore
You're getting
we're gonna
attacked
lash
by a
out.
small segment of the community.
Which is,
That is-
matter that
that-
it's
small.
led by the board, a board
But-
member. We can't get around that.
You're led by a board member.
But
No.
we're not attacking her on social media. We're not I mean,
How is
some of
it
the stuff
right
is so
for a
ridiculous.
board
It's like,
member to
how
be
are
allowed
we an
to
adult?
Continue to attack and to lead the attacks?
And although her name might not be signed to a post, her friends are, let me tell you, it's her friends that are signing their name and they're doing it loud and proud. But we know who is the puppet master behind it, and it's sad. I've been in this school for 19 years, as a parent, as a sub, as a teacher. I've lived in this school, community member. This is the most saddest I have ever seen. It is disgusting, is what it is.
I chose this school 6 years ago when I moved here from Ohio. I didn't know anything about anything, but I came here to visit. I fell in love with this school. I have devoted so much time to this school every single day for the last 6 years. And I feel personally attacked about everything that has happened. I had a hold of that PTCO board. That was mine. And it is being attacked. So yes, I feel personally attacked when I have given everything to this place. I love every one of you, every single one of you. I love from the bottom of my heart. I love each and every one of these kids. I love each and every one of those parents out there. And I feel personally attacked, but I have kept my mouth shut. I try to just go with it because maybe it'll get better, and it just keeps getting worse. And I don't know where to go. I don't want to leave here. This is my home. These are my friends, and have become my family. I don't want to leave here. But they're forcing my hand.
And I will second that. She's one of the best PTCO members that we've ever had. And she does, what she did for this school, like you cannot believe. Her student was in my class. She did for my class. Unbelievable. All with her heart. And yet, because she was on PTCO and PTCO is being attacked, she feels personally responsible. It's not right.
So I guess we have a couple of options. Number one, we can try to come together as a group, and you know, I'm in a very challenging position. I sometimes have to do what I'm told. Be very honest with you. I love this community. I love this district. I came here for a reason. I came here because I believed that I could somehow thread this needle and find a way to knit this community back together. Okay? And I'm watching as I see some implosion happening here. And I'd like to find a way to salvage this, because this is an amazing school. I think this is our best school in the district. And I'd like to find a way to salvage this. I mean that. But I need some help. I can't do that. I'm not a miracle worker. I need some help from you in finding a pathway to do that. I can certainly find a pathway to potentially get some board members to recognize the depth of impact that this has had. there are board members who are on the board who I think to some degree don't understand what has happened. I think that the challenge is, right now, there are posts right now that have clearly painted this as the board. And I think you all have very clearly outlined a board member. So the question is there willingness to talk with some board members who haven't been a part of this and actually try to get them to understand what's happening?
Can we do it like this?
Yes.
With you?
Yes,
Like, can we
absolutely.
have them stand right where you
Absolutely.
are and let them know
That's-
what we are?
I guess that's what I'm asking, is there some willingness to do that? So that we can try to
100%
find,
willing to do
is there some willingness to do that, to try to find a pathway? Yes, ma'am.
So, I know I'm just one of the parents, but, you know, my mom opened every one of these schools in this district. My dad was a school member and taught in the school district forever. I've been in this school district since I was little and growing up through here. And I know that when Amanda hired me, we talked about that and about how I was coming back because I wanted to give back to this school for all the years with my family being a part of this. But you're standing there asking us to give a little bit to do this, and I think it's at the point now, this school district, I mean, I'm watching these leaders, I'm watching these teachers, I'm watching us, the whole staff, we are bending, we're doing, and so I guess I'm a little offended by the fact that you're saying, well, can we give a little bit more, can you bend a little, can you do that?
They have to give some too.
Well,
But then
not just
they're
give
ready.
some, there needs to be support somewhere. There needs to be something of, I've got your back, let's battle this. But what I hear you saying is, well, I just need you guys to bend a little bit. I need you guys to come forward a little bit. And you, frankly, every person in this school is completely burnt. It has been one of the toughest years ever. And when my parents, who still live in this community, are constantly going, what is going on at that school? What is going on? And I'm like, we'd like to know too. There's gotta be a point of where we start seeing support rather than hearing, can you guys give a little more? Can you guys come and tell them what's wrong? No, you know, why are they not here on a break? Why are they not at the front door saying good morning to the kids? Why are they not coming in? I mean, and I don't mean this to be rude to you, but you walked in this building today and I saw you walk past 3 to 4 staff members and not even anything said. I'm standing in that office, walked right past it, not a single word. You gotta know your staff. You gotta know your community. Your school board needs to know who the staff is. We don't feel that support. I know I don't. I mean, I feel like I know our team would know if we weren't here. I know all this team would know. And that, boy, if we walked out, okay, let's see who we can fill that spot with. And that's exactly what it feels like. Anybody can do this job. And to see what we deal with on a regular basis in this building, I would love one person that's in the higher up to come and watch and see what we deal with every single day. So to ask us to give more, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. Because we are on our last straw and we are just, I mean, you can't bend anymore, it's gonna break.
And I've invited the board to my classroom. And there's always one excuse or another as to why they can't come, but I'm the only teacher in this entire school that invited Heather Booth to my room twice, and she has come up with an excuse every time not to come. So she can't say, or they can't say, we haven't tried, because I have extended that offer.
I mean, I think we'd be willing if the board wanted to come in here, the ones that aren't running the show. I think the biggest thing everyone is.
Board too.
I think.
You have the members that are on tech that
Yeah, Chrissy Hall needs to come in here
absolutely
and talk to us.
And blocking us so that we can't see what she's writing
Yeah.
about us.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been
Because
blocked.
we have members that don't even have kids here that are attacking us.
That's
They're on-
Elizabeth School, or support Elizabeth
And I
School,
think-
stand up.
I think silence makes it feel like you're standing in solidarity, right? And then that's probably why a lot of the other board members are being attacked, right? Because nobody's coming out and saying anything. And that probably isn't the truth, right? But sometimes when
No,
it's,
silence is
Mhm.
peace.
right, it just feels like everyone's aligning with it, like it's somehow okay.
And I'll be honest with you, most of them don't know what's going on. I'm gonna be very frank with you. They're not social.
How do they not
I'm
know?
not sure how they.
Because they don't
How many
want-
resignations have gone in from this building?
They,
They see those?
Yeah, do they know? It's their job to know what's going on here.
That's what a school board's for.
Well, I think also the question is, what is the end goal of all these attacks? What do they want? Do they want us to leave? Because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I'd say each individual who's attacking has their own end goal. Each of them have their own agenda. That's why, frankly, I don't have respect for any of them who are attacking you. I really don't. I know there are people out there who are trying to connect me to them. Folks, I'm not connected to them. I am not.
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Because when I first came here, I went to just about every SAC meeting.
Mhm.
And Miss Montero over there appointed me as the DAC.
Mhm.
I've been on the DAC since my son was in preschool here. And for some reason, I had one more year as a parent,
Mhm.
and he would have graduated out.
Mhm.
She was with me,
Mhm.
and I was cut out without even so much as a thank you.
Without even
The longer
knowing we were
part.
cut out.
We
And
just found
when
out.
I asked when the first meeting was, and I was told that there was an interview process. Then I found out there was no interview process, that it was just handed to somebody who doesn't even
Yeah.
have a child.
Yeah, there was an application process.
Okay, well,
Well,
we've
there, it
been
was,
already been doing
a
yeah.
person that was on there should have been said, hey, here's an application, if you'd like to reapply, here it is.
Mhm.
But I wasn't even given the chance to say no, thank you. I wasn't even considered, which makes me feel like, did I do something wrong? Because I've been supporting this entire time. So I think communication really needs to get better, really bad.
There are so many things that can be done better. I'm gonna be very frank with you. There's so many things that can be done better.
Yes,
okay?
but if you think about it, the basis of every single relationship out there is good communication.
Mhm.
If you don't have communication, you don't have a relationship. And I think the staff needs a relationship with the board and with you.
Mhm.
We need to have better communication. That is, basically, that's the root all. That's it.
Right. No, I completely agree. That process was, there was an application process. The board read the applications, they selected the DAC members. In the past, it's
They
been,
would have offered us a chance to apply for that, they didn't tell us anything.
in the past, it's been, who wants to be on DAC? Come on, come on, come on. The state has guidelines as to how DACs are formed. The board went with those guidelines this year. And so that was a change from one year to the next. In the past, this district just said, anyone who wants to be on DAC, come on and be on the DAC. This year, the board said, let's follow the state guidelines. It's one parent per school. They put in an application process. It was sent out last spring.
That was not sent out to me. I can guarantee you that it was not sent out
Yeah,
to
it
me.
was, yeah, it was sent out in district communication last spring to all parents. It was sent out by Jason Hackett. So how you didn't get it, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Okay. But that was a process last year.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
If the board is not accountable to you, to whom are they accountable?
To voters. I'm accountable to the board, they're not accountable to me. I work for the board.
Okay. And accountability is a huge, huge buzzword in every job, every facet of your life. Be accountable. So how do we hold them accountable?
Yeah.
Because you're
How
also
can-
talking to a room full of people who are the voters. Our
Well,
children are
I'm
here,
on the wrong
we
side
are
of the room.
here, we are also the people who appoint that, right? We're the voters too, so they should not be throwing us under the bus like this, or thinking that our vote doesn't matter because it does. And I don't think we're against talking to the board members, but we also need to have some kind of a, like, if they're willing to come to some kind of a solution, because the crap that they're throwing out there is not how you solve a problem. If that's what they really want, that's not how it's gonna happen. So what is the end goal?
Can you tell me what crap they're throwing out there?
All the stuff on social media,
But the board is
everything
not
we talk
throwing the
about.
crap out there. There is a
Okay.
board member who you've
Okay,
named.
well, and that's fine, so if they wanna come, if they
Because
wanna
the
come and
voters
talk
elected
about
her.
that, that's
So
fine.
is there a
Okay,
way to
so-
do an emergency vote to get her off the
There
board?
was an attempt.
There was an attempt, and that was, you know,
There was an attempt to recall her.
that, the ridiculousness that, once again, all the lies that were spread,
Exactly.
And a lot of this is being spread about this community, just our school.
And
Well,
the
and it's-
biggest
And that's
problem
where
is
it's
the
hard.
only thing that a district that we had that our surrounding districts don't have was our community, and it is now being
Really?
destroyed.
It's split in half.
That's
it's
all you have
divided.
holding people here. You didn't have the money, you don't have the other things,
We don't
like,
have air conditioning.
all you had was the community to hold people here, and now they're blowing it up. Whoever they are, I'm
I
not
was
saying
gonna
they
say-
is the board, I'm saying it's the people who
Whoever
are
is
doing
doing it.
this.
Okay, let me, just so I know for positive,
Yep.
is Chrissy Howell part of the district accountability committee?
She is.
Okay, why hasn't she been asked to leave?
Or
She started
been
this
given
stuff a
ethic
week ago.
codes or saying,
Why
hey, you're
has
not
she
supposed to
not
be
been-
doing this.
She has violated ethics codes.
It's a-
Why is
it's a
she
board
on the
decision. I
DAC?
think it's something, again, I think if we
So-
can bring some board members here.
How about if we all show up at the district accountability meeting?
That's not
How
where the
would-
decision would be made, it's at a board level, and that's where
But
I'm
so if
saying, I
every
would love to
employee-
bring 2 board members that have not been engaged in this conversation, for them to hear from you the frustration that you have.
Can you
who
bring
have the
Chrissy and put
power-
her in front of us?
Who have the power, Chrissy being brought in front of you isn't gonna solve that problem.
It might.
The venting might help.
I am.
Can you give
But
me-
I think we need to
Can
be
you give
shown
me a
some
minute to
kindness.
be real?
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, I was being real.
Okay, all right, let me be real for a minute, okay? We have 4 board members who are not.
I would say 3.
Yeah, because Olson is part of it.
Yeah.
Rhonda
Yeah.
Olson's part of it.
She is partnered up.
We have 4 board members who are not Heather Booth. 4 board members who, if we attempt to build a relationship with, if we take the opportunity, they all have jobs, okay? You want them to be at your front door greeting kids. They don't get paid, okay?
But they chose to be a part of the school, and if you're gonna be a part of the school, you need to be a part of the school and know the school. I get they have jobs, but they chose to run to be a part of this school, and they need
Yep.
to be and know the school, know the staff, know the kids. I'm not asking every day.
Then the
They
only
need to
people
be a
you'll
part.
have run for school board are retired individuals. So, I mean, the reality is that Douglas County Board have jobs too. They are not standing at their school entrances. All right, so that's a challenge you have in school boards across the country. People who run for school board.
They're bigger.
I'm
We're
sorry?
a very small school district. There's
They could
4 or
pop
5
in.
schools.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier to show up in this district than it is to show up in Douglas County. where
They can
it's
stand
hundreds of
across the
schools.
road and put signs up.
What do you mean?
They have time for that.
all up and down
these
Singing
signs,
Hills,
all
there's
these signs
signs.
Know about this school, all these things that go on. They can do that. They can stand out front here and talk to all the teachers, or all the parents. They can certainly take an effort to come in, and they need to come make that effort.
They showed up at parent pickup,
Yep.
talking and gaining votes at our parent pickup time.
Well, I know, so if I could just kind of pop in, I do know one board member did that. And I will say, in my 13 years here, I don't have the longevity of like Lynn as a parent and everything. But through the years, the board has come to our back to school night, and I don't know that you all seen it because you might be in classrooms or whatever. I think we had Rhonda and I can't remember.
John.
At board member, at back to school night, they come to our veterans celebration. So no, they don't come to everything, they don't hold the door open, but they have come. So I'm going through the years of 13 years. And I know in the past they've come to visit, like a new board member gets on and they've come to visit. I know Mary was here, some conversation with you guys, I don't remember when, this year. They don't come to everything, I know that, but they have come. So I don't wanna say that they've never come, because through the years here, like Deb Spenceley, her child was here, those of you who remember Deb, she was here almost on a daily basis because her kid was here. Carol Hines was here, you know, when, Carrie Karcher, although I know Pam was here, so he was bringing her a Pepsi, but he would come to visit, and I don't remember, John Richardson, was that his name? No, Chris Richardson, when he was a board member, he was here. So through the years, they do come, not on a daily basis, I get that, but when we've had our special occasions, like our Veterans Day or our back to school night or things like that, they have shown up. You know, it was one of those things, I did suggest that to Amber Sorg, invite the board members, make friends with them. It hadn't been a practice, honestly, you know, we were never told, please invite your board members. They were just told throughout, you know, probably like superintendent updates and everything. And I know they've asked for calendar stuff this year, but I don't, through the years, I don't want it to be that they've never been here,
Right.
because they absolutely have. And I know, you know, through these past few years, I know I have seen it, not in everything, I understand that, but our back to school night, our Veterans Day programs, of course, COVID kind of put it, but please note that over the years, board members have been here.
Our board is a political board. All boards are. They have to run for office. They have to secure the vote of our community. There are 12,000 voters in our community. There are 2,600 students in our community. If you do the math, there are more voters in our community than there are parents. So, yes, they have to appeal to this community, and this community is a conservative community. And there are more people out there who don't have children in our community who have very strong feelings, maybe different than our parents do. And so our board has to appeal to those. And we have to convince those voters to support our district when it comes to the ballot box. Okay, so we have that unusual dynamic in our community. And that's something we have to accept, or we can just continue to bang our heads against the wall. Okay? I can tell you, and you can take it for what it's worth, you can tell me Dan's a liar. I can tell you the 4 board members, and you can blame Rhonda for what happened in the past or not. I believe those 4 board members, if you got to know them and you shared your point of view, those 4 board members would align with you and would help you get this school back centered, and will help you with those community members who are being nasty. But if we continue to attack the board, then all we do is we ostracize them.
How soon could something like that be set up?
I'm offering to do that, but I want us to recognize.
How soon could something like that?
I can start doing that this week. You know, board members, and I have no doubt I could get in here later this week, early next week, to come and walk with me. And what I would need you to do is be willing to sit down and say, can I tell you what's been going on here? But what I need you to understand is they're not the enemy. They need to hear honestly from you how frustrated you've been with what's gone on in this school.
But I have no children. I moved here 6 years ago in Texas. And this is my family here. And they have been like the best family ever. And to watch these people suffer. And I get a call from a friend who has children here still, saying, Mary, what's going on? What is going on with this on this mom's group? And she screenshot and sent me, because otherwise I would never have known. And I'm like, no. I said, that's just not what's happening. The politics don't belong in the school. You're here for the kids. We're here for the kids. Your views, yeah, I get, you know, some people want things a little more conservative, some people want things a little more liberal, but ultimately, it's the kids that are gonna benefit or not. And when I've got a parent calling me saying, hey, what is this? What happened? And I'm like, no, this is a great, wonderful, she goes, I know, my kids have these books at home. They've had them for years. And
I had them in my
she's
locker.
showing me all this nastiness that's going on Facebook, and I'm like, she goes, I just have to jump in. And she defended us to the hilt. And she got attacked. And it's not okay that it continues. So the sooner they could get in here, the sooner that they can hear our side of everything and understand that, you know, we have no hidden agendas, the better.
You know, like I said, the key is, let's take advantage of those 4 board members so that we can help them understand your feelings of what's going on so that they can help neutralize what's happening.
I think they just have to be primed to give us a little bit of grace for the hot emotions, and then we can obviously work on giving them grace, and maybe it's just educating them on little spots so that the next time that they're hit with something, they have
I
the
picked up
education to
the
back it
little
up.
spot set from Regina last night, and I shared it with board members last night, before the board. Because I said, by the way, you may have heard a little controversy. This is the little set of books that caused all of that. And they're like, that's it? And so, yeah, so I primed it. Okay, so.
I think it'll just be.
I don't think it's just about little spot either
Yeah.
though. This is obviously bigger than that, or it wouldn't be to the point that it's at. And I don't think any of us are the ones who are doing any attacking of anybody. I don't think any of us had attacked the board or said, you know, the board this or the board that in any kind of public forum. So I don't think anybody is against them coming and talking, but we're not the ones doing that. So, I don't know.
Well, it's frustrating to be receiving it when you're not the one who's
Yeah.
instigating it, so I think that's the bottom line.
If that's number one, we've gotta try to get the right people in here that can then get behind you and can support you and can get the message out to the community. Because when we have a conservative board, this board has not done the things they've been accused of. They've not adopted the American birth rate standards. They have not said you will teach conservative things. They have not book banned. They have not come through this library and said, oh, that's a bad book, that's a bad book.
They did it in middle school though.
They have.
And they changed the
They
book
have.
fair.
My son's in middle school.
They haven't
and-
removed a book.
Yes, they have.
No, they haven't.
Yes,
Yeah, they have. They've done removal of books up at the middle school.
Yes.
They
My
have.
son's in middle school
There was
and they
one
have.
book, there was one book that a parent brought to our attention that had curse words throughout. That was one book. So I would beg to differ with you.
I would like to see, because my understanding is now that most, like, a bunch of the books in the library are now behind
No,
closed
ma'am.
doors and you
No,
have to have a
ma'am.
permission
You've
slip.
got misinformation.
But we did change our book fair
Mhm.
to a conservative book
Yep.
fair that has censored to 200 books, which in my mind, I'm like, that's the start of book banning. Like, if you tell me that my kid can't go to the book fair or that you can't have a book fair that has LGBTQ stuff in it, then you're taking away my right as a parent to say my kid can read that.
Your kid can read books wherever they want to go buy books. Again,
But why are we changing it from Scholastic, which has always been a huge fundraiser, to something that has so
books
limited
like Harry
tires?
Potter in it? Like, they don't even sell Harry Potter, which is a big thing for me. So. But like but isn't that the start of it? Like, once you start saying that you can't, that you.
See, that's the challenge, is everyone thinks it's a startup. There's this big agenda. Our board has worked really hard, and I've worked really hard with them, folks. I'm exhausted. I worked really hard with them to say, we're not about splashes. We're not about bringing in an agenda. We're not about bringing in a conservative agenda. We're not about telling you what to teach or telling you what to teach. We're about keeping politics out of schools. When children come to school with their personal values, they need to go home with those personal values. We're not about changing them. We're about respecting what children come to school with and letting them go home with those values. That's our board's position. They've had parents who have said, we really are concerned about our children going to a book fair where we're not at and picking books that maybe we would prefer they not have. And that's why they've chosen a different book fair. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, okay? If that's the worst thing in the world that our board could do, then that's it. But that's not the start of a bigger agenda.
Is this
That's it.
The whole book fair thing, is this like a permanent thing that it doesn't matter? What if nobody buys these books? Is it gonna stay this way, or would you reconsider as
We'll get feedback
history?
after this book fair, and we'll see what our community thinks. So again.
If parents don't
I-
want their kids buying books.
Then they shouldn't be
don't
letting
send
them buy
with it.
books. That's a
bottom line,
parent.
and that's where the parents control it. I mean, we're not forcing children to go in there, bring your allowance, or go steal your parents' money out of
And
the-
go buy books with gay couples in
Parents-
it.
parents
I've
say,
never
"Why
said
do
that.
I would say this, if that's a hill we wanna die on, then we can die on that hill.
Well, I just bring it up because I have like, and I say it's the start of something, because my parents teach in Florida. And that's where it started, was them censoring
Where
the book
it-
fair.
What's next? I mean,
Book
like I
bans
said,
and telling us what we can and cannot
we
teach in
just
our
adopted a
classrooms.
science, who's on the science committee? We just adopted a science curriculum. Did we have any initiative there?
Well-
Teachers chose a science curriculum.
I was one.
Did we choose a science curriculum that had some special
No, we
agenda?
chose a curriculum that would best benefit the children. And
Was
all
there,
of
was there
everything.
another, was there something forced on you there?
No,
Okay. And that's the process we're gonna go through with every curriculum adoption. So, again, we're all in a difficult spot. I hear you. I'm gonna get board members in here so they can hear you. I'm gonna ask you to work with me. We'll just find a pathway. I'll stay in close touch with Regina and we'll try to navigate this together. You are an amazing school. Some of you will make a decision in the next couple of weeks. I hope it's to keep this school great, but I understand you'll make a decision. And I regret if it's to leave the school, because these are great kids and they deserve you. But I support you in whatever decision you make, okay?
I just have a quick thing. I think a lot of us wanted here is for you to take accountability for a lot of this.
Do what?
You taking accountability, we want the board to take accountability. You are a part of this too. And you, I mean, we've all seen the emails, the posts. You fought back with this individual just as much as this board members have. And you haven't stood up for any of us.
Tell me again.
We haven't seen your support for any of us.
In what way? Well, how could I have supported you? Tell me more.
Well, you're attacking somebody, a community member, somebody that wanted to help our school, somebody that's helped our school. And then you're telling us to also.
So I have a community member here who is out to destroy me. And if
But
you
you're
haven't
destroying
seen
her
that,
too. You're trashing her just as much as she is you,
Okay.
sir.
I am defending myself.
As is she.
Yeah, I mean, we can go on. We can talk about where that all began, and we can talk about the media outlets she's gone to. We can talk about the things that she's done. We can talk about the things she's tried to connect me to. We can talk about the links she's gone to try to destroy me in the state. And I'm supposed to sit back and say, oh, okay, that's all right. I don't know how to sit back.
I think that's almost something you're asking us to do a little bit of too. is to
Oh,
sit back
I
and not
understand.
engage.
I understand. I'm human, and I'm far from perfect. So yes,
Well, I
ma'am.
did want to point out in terms of backing us up, even just setting that individual aside.
Mhm.
We had what happened here with the scribble spot.
Mhm.
And you sent out an email not even a week later asking parents to please give us a chance to apologize. And
What do you
make things
mean?
right. I don't know what, I could read it to you, you sent it out. I don't know what you were referencing.
Asking.
You were saying sometimes mistake, nothing about scribble spot, but there was this vague
Oh.
call to give us a chance to apologize for
Not
our
you.
mistakes and make it right. Well, how do we
Oh.
know that's not us, and how does the
Oh.
community know that? Because when
Okay.
something like that happens, and that's the only communication from you, that's reinforcing that idea that we
Okay.
did something wrong. Whether or not you think that, or
Yeah.
you meant that, that's the end result. Because you said nothing about how, hey, nothing happened here, to
Yeah,
give us a
no,
chance to apologize.
okay, I see where you're connecting that. No, we've been dealing with a rash of incivility in our schools where parents have literally been blistering our staff across the district, where we have parents who have literally been cussing our staff out up one side and down the other in front of their children. And sometimes it's because maybe we forgot to give them their lunch, or maybe we forgot to tell them that, hey, mom called and asked them to ride the bus home. And that's what I was referring to is, come on, let's cut our staff some slack because we're human. And so that's what I was referring to. So if you made that leap to say it was because of this,
What didn't
okay,
Fine,
I
what I'm
understand.
saying is,
Yeah.
can't you see how other people would take it that way? And it
I can see where
reinforces
you've,
this
I
narrative
can see
within
where
the
you've jumped to
community
that. No, I
that
understand.
we're doing something
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
that we're up to no good here.
no,
And the
absolutely.
district doesn't say anything about how we aren't.
Yeah.
There's never any kind of communication about, hey, there's this big misconception
Yeah.
about what happened at Singing Hills. Let's explain to you what we did.
Yeah.
But there's an email like that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I understand you're saying that's not what you meant,
Yeah.
but I don't think that I'm stupid for connecting those things, and I think a lot of other people would.
Okay.
Especially people who are looking for that. They're just
Yeah.
looking for it.
Articulating what you mean in the statement,
Mhm.
that way everybody actually understands exactly where you stand,
Mhm.
instead of letting them come with their own
Yeah.
ideology.
Gets to the point where I'm afraid to write anything.
Where that
I
was
get that, but here we
directed.
are.
Yeah,
It just
no,
gets worse and worse
no,
because nobody's
no.
pushing back
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
district. I think that's why we don't feel
Mhm.
supported.
Yeah.
These things get said, these things go up online, and there's no pushback.
Mhm.
So silence speaks loud.
Mhm. Mhm.
It implies that they should be suspicious of us. Things are going on.
Mhm.
I mean, why can't we have any kind of formal statement when things like what happened here last week happened,
Mhm.
defending us? Why is that so
Right.
much to ask, honestly?
Right, because I would say because there were 4 or 5 people who did it on social media, and the bulk of the community don't know anything about that. So to have a formal statement about nothing was wrong at Singing Hills, there'd be more people saying, what are you talking about? So I guess that's.
Well, then we
that-
might
you
have
made-
more
but-
parents on our side
Yeah,
if
yeah.
more people know
Right.
what's going on. If those 4 or 5 people are attacking us and they're spreading this, and they're gonna keep spreading it by word of mouth, which is the best form of marketing, by the way.
Why can't it be an education opportunity to correct misinformation? You talk a lot in kind of not specifics about, don't believe what you read online, don't, get on social media. I agree with you.
Mhm.
But there's no specifics. I don't understand why we can't ever take things like this as a learning opportunity for parents and community
That's
members.
your perspective. Okay. All right. Let me do some processing of what next steps we can do. I'm going to try to get a couple of board members out here in the next couple of weeks to orchestrate some conversations. I'd like to do it in some small groups, so if there are a few of you who would be willing to meet with some small groups, I'll ask Regina to talk with you about who would be willing to sit down and talk with. I think in a small group setting would allow you to kind of relay those thoughts and ideas in a better format. And let's see where that goes. I'd like the opportunity to process what you've shared and maybe share that back out of other things that I think I can do, and then circle back and decide what we can do next. So that sounds okay.